In the vault today, we are looking at a book called Adventures of the Little Wooden Horse by Ursula Moray Williams. This is another author that I discovered who I had never heard of before in my life, and realized she has written a ton of books. Again, I think she is more well known in England, definitely not here in the United States, but this was the first book that I read of hers, and it is about a delightful wooden horse, as you can see, and it was written in 1938. So going back farther than some other stories that we've looked at. But that said, it is a very adventurous story, and you do have to suspend belief or disbelief in in the story, in that even though this is a little wooden horse with wheels, I think we see a cover here, there's a wheel here. This horse, it can talk, it can remove its head, it can run, it can swim. So just you gotta kind of put that away and not really think about that. But that being said, if you just kind of go with it, it's a magical story anyway. It's fantasy. Uh, you once you just accept that you're on a journey with a wooden horse, a talking wooden horse, all bets are off, and you just kind of go with it. But that said, it is a really adventurous, enjoyable story. Though this one is grittier than um, a lot of the other books that I have looked at or read. I didn't find that to be off putting or anything like that, but it was just I thought it was very interesting. Um, and also a good contrast because as I was reading it to my kids, we did talk about, it's kind of like an introduction to the world where it is a little bit scarier. There are bad things that happen. There are actually bad people, um, but there are also good people as well. So this horse goes on an adventure through the story. Like I was saying, he is created by a toy maker. Uncle Peter is his name, and he's made out of love and this like craftsmanship. And one of the things I thought was really interesting is that back then the story is based on the premise of um, there's now mass production of toys being um, done, and they're cheap and fall apart and uh, just don't have the quality anymore. And how people are just kind of eating that up, and it's like kind of it's a shame, sort of like it's a lost art of this wooden horse. So it was interesting that this is like nearly 100 years ago, and you talk to any like Waldorf type um, families, or who follow that educational model, um, or just people who are really embracing getting back to just some more earthy type crafts and so forth. That's here in the present day, and it's funny to hear echoes of that in the past. But so yeah, he's a very high quality horse. He's made with love by Uncle Peter, and this horse loves his whole purpose is to serve and be loyal to Uncle Peter out of love. And he each chapter it takes you see that he kind of goes on a new portion of his journey, and he and Uncle Peter go from town to town trying to sell their goods, and it's just getting harder and harder to do. But yeah, so you see he gets separated from Uncle Peter, and he spends the rest of the book trying to get back to Uncle Peter. And as you can see here, each chapter has like a really great illustration. The text is pretty big. It probably takes about 15 minutes or so to get through each chapter, 15-20 minutes. And like I said, some of them are, depending on who he's encountering, he may be meeting some great people who want to be helpful, and then other ones he's meeting some really nasty characters who you're just left thinking, how is he ever going to get out of this? Or you'll see that he has finally attained something to get him to reach his goal, and then you see him lose it. And so it's not like the it's not a happy journey throughout. There's a lot of conflict that occurs, and it's um on the edge of your seat lots of times, just wondering how he's going to get out of it and what's going to happen next and who he's encountering. So it took about I think about a week and a half for me to read this one. For a bedtime story, we did do that. We all enjoyed it very much, and there is our two other books that are sort of related to this one. It's not, I don't think it's officially a series, but they're all connected. So I will talk about those in another book. But yeah, I think this was a really interesting um, quality book to read. Again, it's some people, they really like get down on the fact that how is this horse able to do all this stuff? And um, if you're gonna get hung up on that, you're not gonna enjoy it. If you don't want to expose your kids to some grittier characters, there's not like it's not like they're swearing or anything like that, but there are some mean people in this one. But if you don't want to expose your kids to that too, then you might want to skip this. But um, I thought it was a really heartwarming story overall. I thought it was like a triumph of spirit kind of story, and the little wooden horse is a really great character. So yeah, uh, uh, another author that was very prolific and never really made it over here to the United States, and I really wish that I did have that exposure when I was a kid, because I think it would have been a lot of fun. So I will see you in the vault, and hopefully I'll be talking about more books by Ursula Moray Williams.